It has been a while since I tried to do DPS Kachina. I had a C2 Kachina back then, and now I have C6. But I'm actually not really going to focus that much on C6 Kachina specifically. Instead, we're going to do something else. But I want to maximize her skill damage, right? Because her skill damage is what I think is fun about her. Like, yes, you can do plunge with Chanyun, but ultimately, right, she has problems in that this scaling is not very high. Her scaling on her burst is a lot higher, but you only activate this once, and also her burst cost is awful. What I'm going to do is actually abuse the fact that C1 Citlali gives a flat damage buff to any kind of on-field damage, which will functionally double the damage numbers we see from Kachina's skill. If you want to see a video that is not trying to specifically abuse, you know, a 5-star constellation, go check out this awesome video from Tars Blammo. But it's what I'm gonna do because it's what I like to do. I like seeing big numbers, and that's my goal. I want to get, like, I want to reach that threshold of, like, doing this and seeing a satisfying amount of damage from it. So this is meant to be a no-holds-barred, high investment, whatever you want to call it, doing everything I flippin' can to make Kachina get a lot of damage. I'm not gonna apologize for it. Now, the game plan basically is to make the most out of a flat damage buff. I'm going to have Citlali, you know, with a ton of EM. I have her signature weapon, and she has 1200 EM on a 2-piece scroll, 2-piece Gilded Dreams build. Actually, wait, I can get even more. I'm going to do this artifact because it's a little bit lower ER, but I'm pretty sure I can have plenty of ER. So 1269 EM on my Citlali. This is what her build looks like. But basically, right, to make the most of this flat buff, it's not just min-maxing the amount of EM I have on Citlali. Flat buffs add on top of your multiplier. So the buff from Citlali does not care at all about, like, what Kachina's defense stat is. It will only care about how much damage bonus, so geo damage bonus, or universal damage buffs like Farina, as well as how much crit that Kachina has, or also Res Shred also amplifies the damage, of course. So that's why I have Staff of Homa on her, because it'd be a crit damage stat stick. Deathmatch is normally more than a competent enough weapon for DPS Kachina, in my opinion. But since we are specifically trying to abuse a flat damage buff from Citlali, we're using Staff of Homa. The passive functionally does nothing for her. And of course we are using 4-piece Obsidian Codex because she can get the crit rate buff, and these are the overall artifacts, and yep, it's a bunch of crit, which, you know what, I guess screw it. Normally I would prefer more consistency over bigger number, but I guess we may as well go for the less consistency, bigger number situation, since that's the idea. Shalonen, of course, is on scroll, by the way, so she'll be giving 40% geo damage bonus, and also I have her signature weapon, which is more damage bonus. I also have Shalonen C2. Yep, like I said, high investment. Not gonna apologize. I think we have like towards 300% damage bonus on Kachina. And then a lot of crit damage. Like, we should see some pretty significant increase from Citlali C1. But yeah, it takes a pretty specific conjunction of things to make the most out of these weird flat buffs. But this kind of thing is exactly why I wanted C1 Citlali, because we're gonna see a very big increase from Citlali C1. And this is very easy to demonstrate, by the way, just by not using Citlali, because in case it wasn't obvious, Citlali does not buff Kachina at all at a baseline in her normal kit. Alright, and we'll do Kachina, so this is without Citlali, and we're getting, you know, 20k, 22k. Not bad. I definitely am noticing having lower crit rate. I vastly prefer higher crit rate. So, place your guess now. What is Kachina gonna get after I actually have C1 Citlali's buff active? By the way, this buff, like most flat damage buffs, is limited to a certain number of stacks, which is instances of damage that an enemy takes. In the case of Citlali, we'll have 16 instances of damage that can happen on enemies. You know, Kachina does do AoE damage. She could theoretically scale better in those situations. Wham. And and get ready. Bam. It barely doesn't reach 50k, which was slightly unsatisfying, I will say. And then, oh, we didn't crit on the burst. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. You know what? Look, you saw the bigger number. I'm going to switch back to the goblet that has more crit rate, because I like critting more consistently. This will put her at 85% crit rate. As you might be able to tell, her energy situation is pretty bad, but this team does have the ability to do multiple Shalonen skills per rotation. Oh, I shouldn't have killed that. I lost my energy generator. Anyways, you can do multiple Shalonen skills per rotation, and that will mostly fix our Kachina energy needs. But I am hoping that the Abyss has an energy recharge card because that will make things feel a little bit more smooth. 70 energy cost is pretty rough. And her burst is worth using because we can see like an instance of 100k damage if it actually crits, which is satisfying. With C2, you get an additional 20 Night Soul, which is 2 more ground pounds. It also has the minor aspect of increasing her AoE even further. We'll do one more lap against this thing to show the different goblet. I suppose this all, by the way, is just an illustration of like, I don't think you should just go for all these constellations specifically to do DPS Kachina. This is not going to make it like, oh my god, she just wipes the floor through everything in the game. Spend your resources wisely. Generally speaking, it is more valuable to get new characters, in my opinion, than it is to get constellations on characters. But sometimes they can enable you to do things like, you know, DPSing Kachina and it being a lot more compelling than it would be without them. But again, go check out that Tars Blammo video. He does an excellent job at showing you can do pretty wrong character. You can do bam. You can see, yeah, we lost 2k damage and bam, 100k, and we as long as we get 100k, I think I'm satisfied. Yeah, I don't know. It's a high investment thing. I think we'll be perfectly fine in Abyss, and there is some weird nuance to the fact that geo damage and heavy attacks in general do trigger Shatter, by the way. So an interesting lower investment variant of this team you could play without building crit on Kachina, instead just building her for EM, is, you know, make her a Shatter DPS, because, you know, Citlali and Farina will freeze the enemies. We're not doing Shatter DPSing, of course. My Kachina has 0 EM. We will see some Shatter damage, just it's not going to be that significant. Alright, before we head to the Abyss, I want to mess around with fighting some local legends, because one thing I think that is interesting about this team is, you know, the fact that Kachina will generate a bunch of crystallized shields constantly, basically, and I feel like it might be a weirdly tanky team because of that, but, you know, there's certain enemies in the game that hit really hard, and I want to fight Vivian here, both because of that, and I want to remove Farina's damage as a factor to see, like, you know, how much damage is Kachina herself really doing, right? Very much likely to die here because this person one-shot shield. Maybe it's a bit polite to even call Vivian a person. They probably were a person at one point in time, I don't know. Anyways, and blam. And you can see, it's not as much. We don't have our energy. It's flying, so I didn't think about that. And we don't trigger Fat on Farina on those normal attacks. Blam. One, two, and then we can burst. The reason we have to wait for that, by the way, is because there is a cap on her Night Soul of 60 points. So if you use her burst right after you skill, you would not get any additional skill hits, right? So that's why I do 2 jumps and then do her burst. I want to do additional skill. Oh, I did that. But yeah, this is more. Ooh, okay. I was saying it was more tanky than expected, and then Farina almost died. So, you know, grain of salt. But you know, it is a fairly tanky team for what it's worth. Like, I haven't been going. Okay, almost got deaded there again. I haven't been going out of my way to try to dodge here much, at least. I tend to die against Vivian with most teams I ever take to her. So I think it's safe to say, at least, this is actually a quite tanky team. With, of course, the shield from Citlali helping, the healing from Shalon, and but also the, you know, constant shields from what's her bucket? Should you do? Oh, okay, fine. Kachina's skill cooldown is quite long, by the way. Which causes some like slight downtime in whatever, but that's why you have time to actually use multiple skills per rotation with Shalona without a problem. Because you're gonna have downtime with Kachina's skill anyways. Oh, I got so close to killing and then I... Oh, that just feels bad. Well, either way, I think I showed the team is relatively tanky. This finally takes Kachina's damage to a level that, like, I'm satisfied with. I kind of feel like she should have had the capability to get this kind of damage without, you know, a 5-star constellation buff going on. But, oh well, it is what it is. I'm happy I can finally, you know, just do the whirly-twirly big numbers. This Kachina build, you know, with all the investment, blah, 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 is hitting around 500k damage in a rotation, right? If not more, because of her C6. I actually haven't been tracking the C6 procs that much. And 500k damage is kind of like a threshold where there's a difference between being usable and feeling like they do meaningful damage, and this is what feels like meaningful damage to me, right? Hence why I kind of like doing these high investment things. Now the Abyss here has two sides with different buffs going on. And the second half is the one that has Night Soul aligned damage bonus of 75%, which should let us see, you know, meaningfully higher Kachina damage. But the problem is, you know, there's a cryo shield enemy. You know what, this video is probably going to be shorter than I would normally have to make, so I think I'm going to try to do both halves. I think it'll be interesting to fight a really tanky enemy. And by the way, like, as far as like comparing clear times, if you don't have Pyro in a team or the ability to swirl Pyro, this thing has a lot longer clear times. Like, functionally, it's just a much more tanky enemy if you don't bring Pyro to it. This thing incentivizes using Cryo. So, I don't know. I want to do both sides with DPS Kachina. We'll see how it goes. We'll start with the first half. Dia, of course, is so strong that she can carry us through all content. Nope. Okay, nice. We have energy card. Yay. Thanks, game. Let's do this. I think it might make sense to burst with Shalonen. We need to burst consistently with Shalonen, of course, because we want a healer for Frina. I should not have done that first, but it's not the end of the world. We can just recast skill like that. And, yep, we're just getting barely under 50k. Alright, here is where I want to do a second Shalonen skill. I should have done a second Shalonen skill, I think, before that. Because what I can do is, like, do a second Shalonen skill right after I'm done with Kachina. And then, you know, start Shalonen healing, do Frina, do another Shalonen skill, and then come back to Kachina. I think I was being a little bit stupid there, by the way, because I was talking. I need to shut up and actually focus. I think, I don't know, based on the damage here, I should be able to get like a minute and 15-second clear without a problem. Although, you know, this thing does have annoying mechanics to deal with. Like, it's going to do that. It's also going to do its spin to win, probably. I did not properly do things with energy. Alright. And blam. Alright. Doop. Ran out of Frina buff there, it seems like. I think I can get a faster clear with this. I do think the hamster is one of the more interesting enemies to optimize. But, just stop it. And blam. It's not bad. A minute and 24 seconds is not bad. But for the investment of that team, I think I can clear faster. So I'm going to do a few retries. Oh god, what's with the non-grid? Clear, still clear. Skill damage, ooh. And now that we're in the second chamber, we have no energy. That's not ideal. Whoops. What happens when you focus too much on clearing fast on one chamber? Alright. I did not Brina yet. We're gonna waste some of Citlali buff by being on to Brina there. Oh well. And if we kill these in one rotation, I'll be happy. Okay, we can see we lost the buff. Okay, I'm gonna redo that. There we go. Now this should work. This. Alright, this. Blam. And blam. Alright, there we go. That worked. Alright. heal off. Actually, I do what makes sense to do until after Grenade Burst will go up, but whatever. Match this. Alright. Wait. No, that missed. God damn it. Oh, I wasted all the buff again. I'm stupid. I'm so stupid. Error. Nice. Nope, I'm gonna wait a little bit. Cooldowns. This is why. Yep. Well, bam. Hey, there we go. That was more satisfying. And we don't have our energy, but oh well. Alright. So now let it get his shield. It's fine. I think we should. Yeah. Kachina gets to the shield very easily. Do another Ronin. Back on you. Yeah, there we go. Alright. No problem. This. And 2. Land. 1, 2. I didn't. Oh, non-crits there. Not satisfying. Alright. This. Alright. Man, it's so nice when the freeze reaction actually does something when you're not fighting bosses. Crazy. And blam. 53 seconds. Second side is going to be a bit weirder. I did not think I'd be that fast to the clear on that. Alright. Let's do... Okay, I just want to kill these as fast as possible. Don't fly up in the air, please. Good. You flew up in the air, you butthole! What am I supposed to do about this? Please. Oh my god, that's so lame. It's got some damage on it, and then, okay, so we use Citlali, please. Alright, and almost die. Yup, that's exactly what I want. Do this. Alright, we'll do Kachina's skill when it's available. Do some charge attacks. Alright. And... Wait, aim again. Wait, there's only one? What is happening? Alright. No, there is much more than one. Here, do that while I charge attack on this one. Alright. Do this again. There we go. Alright, we got a minute. We're fine. Alright, and... Blam. I didn't get anything while it's lower resistant phase, but well. I'm moving slow because it's a butthole. Alright, we are definitely fine, right? Oh yeah. But we gotta get the kill on Kachina. Don't get the kill. Yes, just there we go. Okay, good. Just cannot let Farina get the kill. Yeah, 30 seconds to spare. Alright, let's see how Papilla shields are. Probably annoying, but considering Citlali here, I don't think they'll be that bad. Most likely. Yeah, I think we're fine. I'm gonna save the burst. Can you do normal attacks? Yeah, we can just do normal attacks with Citlali too. Alright, and this. Healing going, blam. Alright. So close. There we go. And this Papilla shield should be even easier. I didn't mean to do that, but whatever. Alright. Blam. good. A little bit closer, actually. Blam. I didn't crit. I love it. Oh. Alright. I think we're chilling. We chilling. Can you not do this smooth? Oh, come on. What? Let it rain away. I love that this boss just teleports. Oh my gosh. I want to beat 8 minutes, please. Oh no. I don't have my energy. No, I refuse. I'm gonna end this with beating Papilla with DPS Kachina before 8 minutes. Right. Blam. There we go. Just to take the second try. Let's freaking go. So yeah, I don't know. Take of this what you will. It's obviously a very high investment thing. I just wanted to show it because it's something I've been messing around with just a little bit since I got C1 Citlali and C6 Kachina, of course. I don't know. Like it feels like it fulfills like how I would have hoped DPS Kachina feels at really high investment. It's just unfortunate that I don't really think there's a way to get these large of numbers without, you know, buffs like a flat buff from Citlali. But yeah, go check out Tars Blamo's video if you want a more relatable experience with DPS Kachina. Let me know if you want to see more high investment things abusing, you know, having certain constellations and unique things that it could enable in the future. Because like I still haven't made a video about like C2 Shalonen and the Electro buff in particular and how that enables some pretty weird things. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more.